Hey guys, Woods Farm here. Just going to do a quick review video on the welder I'm using. This is the Mastercraft MIG Flux-core. This is the 80 amp. I think they make one that looks similar that's 65 amps, so maybe a little smaller. But I ended up with the 80 amp one. I bought it on sale for, I want to say, around $250, $300. I think this kit was regular around $600. Don't quote me on that. And I bought it to do a fabricating project that I'm working on here. I'm basically building a car from the ground up. And I've been using this welder going on almost 2 years. And it's actually fared pretty good. I bought it just to kind of get by, and I'm no expert welder, but I kind of learned how to weld using this machine, and it's been going strong. And honestly, for a welder that's, I think, designed for light duty and kind of hobby use, I've put a lot of work on this thing. I've probably been through, I would say, 15 spools of wire, maybe more, and it's still going strong, and it does what I need it to do. It welds, I welded a lot of 18 gauge sheet steel, and right up until like 1/4 inch plate. Now it's only rated to go up to 1/8 thickness mild steel, but I feel like it can do a lot more than that. So yeah, I'm just going to go through some of the things about the welder. That's the smaller one, and like I said, these go on sale regular. Now I would not pay regular price for this welder. If I was going to spend $600, $700, $800, I would just go for one of these Millers or something similar. My real concern with this thing is the availability of spare parts, but it's kind of one of those things. It's a cheaper machine. It's only meant for kind of light hobby use. But like I said, I'm really happy with how it's performed, which is kind of the reason why I'm doing this review. I don't normally do reviews on stuff unless I've really used it and abused it, and can give a good kind of assessment. That's all the specs. I mean, you can get this all on the Canadian Tire website, but the benefit of this welder is it'll run off of 120. I do have 240 in the garage, but like I said, this is what I bought it to do, fabricating in thinner gauge steels, and it's doing really good for that. You can use 2-3 wire up to 3-5. I've been exclusively using 30 Flux-core. I haven't done any gas, so I can't comment on how it runs with gas, but I suspect it'd probably be even better if you hooked it up. And this thing is capable. You'd have to buy your own regulator, but you can run gas through it. That's the machine right there. I'm just kind of have it set up on a little cart, and you know, typically I'm doing plug welds through 18 gauge onto, you know, 1/8 thickness stock, you know, angle iron and stuff like that, or I'm welding 1/8 thickness angle iron and tubing. That's 90% of what I've done with this. However, I have welded some thicker plate steel with it, right up to like 1/4 inch, and I'm pretty sure you get good penetration. The only drawback, the only thing I don't like about this welder is you can adjust the wire speed, and that's pretty sensitive, but when it comes to heat settings, they give you this goofy kind of basically of 4 settings. You have minimum 1, which would be the lowest, minimum 2, which would be the next highest, and you go to maximum 1 and maximum 2, which is the highest, like setting 4. I typically run this almost exclusively on maximum 1, and sometimes with thinner materials I'll go down to minimum 2. I find it doesn't run well on the lowest setting, and that's probably because I'm using the thicker gauge wire. If you were to swap it out to the 2-3 wire, I think you get better results on thinner materials at the lower heat. But I just buy the same old wire. It makes it easier. You don't have to re-spool it. Just for reference sake, that's the wire I've been using lately. I tried some other wires. I got a bunch of this really cheap off Amazon, and now that I'm a little bit more comfortable with the welding, I find the type of wire doesn't really make a big difference. When I first started off, I was ordering some stuff out of the States that was supposed to be really good, and I found that made a difference when I first started, but once I got more comfortable, really the wire doesn't make a huge difference. So here's a good example. This is like, I believe this is 1/4-inch plate. You can see there's kind of a glare there, but that's what you're going to expect on this thicker steel. And like I said, I'm not even running that at the highest setting. So there you go, I just ran another inch, and you can see the result. A little bit of splatter. This isn't a welding video. Don't comment on my welding skills. I'm not an expert, but I've gotten better over the last 1.5 years. And like I said, I'm just doing a quick review on this welder. Anyways, that's my quick review on the Mastercraft 80 amp flux core. I would recommend this welder to anybody looking to do kind of like light hobby and, you know, just maybe a little bit of auto restoration or anything like that. I've done a lot of welding with this in the last 1.5 years, and it's held up pretty good. So like I said before, my only real concern is the lack of spare parts, but again, if you're using this how it's designed to be used, I think it's going to last quite a while. Anyways, if you have any questions about this welder, feel free to leave them below in the comments, and as always, thanks for watching.